Hi, welcome to the series of Oracle Fusion middleware video lessons. This session I'm going to explain about how to set up Oracle ADF environment. This setup I'm going to do it on a Windows machine. So let me start with the prerequisites or the complete steps to do the same. So this requires the Weblogic installation as well as the infrastructure installation. By completing Weblogic installation and infrastructure installation, we have to run the RCU, which is repository creation utility. This will create the schemas which is required to run your ADF applications. Followed by we'll create a domain which is called a Weblogic domain. Here we'll create the managed server for our ADF application deployments. Then we'll start the admin server, followed by we'll apply a JRF template. This JRF template, this is the only what we call JRF template which is required to run your ADF applications. Then followed by we'll create one sample application and then try to deploy the sample application from local geodeveloper. So without wasting time, let me jump to the next screen. The prerequisites. Yes, you should have the enough RAM to run your Weblogic server. Maybe if you have 8 GB of RAM, it should be good, and you're okay to start the installation. And since I'm going to install Oracle Weblogic 12.2.1, I know you require to have Java 1.8. So I request you to install Java 1.8 and set the Java path to the JDK. Then you should have the database, which is required to create the schemas. So I assume you have the database installed already on your machine. Then download the required binaries from Oracle site. There are two binaries required for this. One is Weblogic binary, and then second one is the infrastructure which will install on top of Weblogic. Okay, so these are the prerequisites. I hope you're clear about this. So let me move to the installation part. So here I have already downloaded the required Oracle Fusion middleware Weblogic and then infrastructure. You can see it here. This is a Weblogic 12.2.1 binaries, and then this is the infrastructure. So once you download from Oracle, you would be having these two files. So as I mentioned, let me start with Weblogic installation. So I'm in this downloaded software locations. So let me see. So this has a FMW 12.2.1 WLS jar file. So to install Weblogic or particularly for this jar file, you simply have to execute Java fun jar and then give the file name. So this is the file name. So make sure you are opening the command prompt in administrator mode. Let me click on enter. So this will pop up the installation screen. Just wait for a minute. So let me take you to the command prompt screen. So here it will check for all the prerequisites. For instance, it should have the CPU of 300 gigahertz and other things. It should have the SAP space more than 512 MB, and it should have the monitor settings. So let me start here. So just click on next, then it will take to the next screen where you simply select skip auto updates, then move to next. Then here this is the Oracle home location, so you can give any location on your Windows machine. So I prefer to give see Oracle. Since this is for ADF, I just wanted to name it as middleware underscore ADF. So just select a Weblogic server. If at all you want coherence, then you select coherence. I just wanted to go with the basic Weblogic server. Click on next, then click on next. Since I don't want to get the mails from Oracle, I'm just unselected. I've just unselected and then click on yes. Oh, here it will show you the location where it is going to install the Oracle Home. So this is my Oracle Home location. So click on install. I think it will take some time. I believe around 5 minutes to set up this, the Weblogic. So meanwhile, if you want, you can go and check what folder structure it is creating. See, it just created the middleware ADF folder, and it just started creating the required folder structure. It just created Oracle common and followed by other folders. I'm just minimizing this window screen. So this installation, if you have enough RAM, then it will install it in very quickly. So if you go back to your the PPT, so we are done. We are about to complete the Weblogic installation, and followed by then we are going to do infrastructure installation, and then creating a repository creation utility for the schemas. Yep, it's almost completed. Just it is completed now. Just click on next. You can uncheck this for time being, and we are not going to create the domain immediately after Weblogic installation. The reason being, you need to install infrastructure binaries as well for your ADF deployments. So I'm just unchecking this, clicking on finish. So it is completed now. So let me go back to one folder back and then say, so now I have to install FMW 1221 infrastructure. So let me, yeah, this is the infrastructure software. Then go inside. So to run this jar file again, I think, yeah, you have to say java minus jar and then the jar file name. Just click on next. So this infrastructure jar file, once we install this, it will go and update some files inside Oracle Common. So this is what already we've installed with Weblogic installation, and then after installing this infrastructure jar file, it will update some of these folders. Yes, it's going to launch the window now. Yep. So just click on next, and it is similar to Weblogic server installation. Just skip auto updates and just give the Oracle home location. So it is middleware ADF. So this is what our Oracle home location. Just click on next. And here I am not interested to install the infrastructure with examples. I just want the basic infrastructure required files. Just click on next as usually, then proceed with the next, then say install. So it's going to install now. So if you see, like it was 831 before and it is updated with 838. So that means it is updating some files inside only Oracle Common. Let's go back to the window. Yeah. Again, it will take some more time. So we are done with the Weblogic installation, and we are doing the infrastructure installation. Then we have to run the RCU, that is the repository creation utility. I'll show you after this infrastructure installation. So as I mentioned, to run RCU, that is repository creation utility, you should have database available up and running. I hope I have all the details required for this. These are the database details. Then say click next. So just click on finish. Let's start the RCU from command prompt. So just go back to the folder, or you are required to go inside middleware ADF, and that is Oracle Common. And this is where we have installed the Oracle Weblogic and then infrastructure. So I'm inside C Oracle middleware ADF Oracle Common. Then I'm going inside bin. So if you go to RCU, there is a file called rcu.path. Since I'm running it on Windows, just click on RCU and simply say run as administrator. So this will only come after installation of your Weblogic and then infrastructure installation. So just simply say next. So since I'm going to create the repository, so I've selected a create repository. Click next and give the database details here. So since I have already installed the database 12c or whatever the version 11g is also supported, so I'm going to give the same details here, and make sure you have to give the sys user and credentials here. So just after giving the required details here, just click on next. So just say OK. So here this is your prefix, or what you call the prefix for the schemas which are required for your ADF application deployments. So since this is for ADF, I just wanted to name it as ADF. So I call it as a dev instance development server. So I'll say dev ADF dev 01. So just click on almost all. Sometimes you might require the OPSs also, so I selected everything here except user messaging services. So click on next. So you have to remember this ADF dev 01. So this schema details you have to give during the domain creation. So that is what our next step. So just click on OK, and then give the password. This password is for your new schemas for ADF. So this is your password. You're going to set the password here. So I'm simply setting as welcome 123. So click on next. So in short, this is going to create these many schemas, ADF dev01, MDS, all these things, and it will create the table spaces also, which are required for these schemas. Just click on next. Just click on OK, then say next. Of course, these are simple next steps. Just you have to click on next, but only thing is you have to enable or disable some of the components. So just click on create. So as I said, you have to remember this ADF dev01, the schema prefix name. So say create. So it takes some time, maybe take around 5 minutes. So what it is doing, it is going to create the schemas that are tables required for your ADF application to run. So not only for ADF, any Fusion middleware product, Web Center portal, Web Center content, or Web Center sites, or Oracle Access Manager, SOA, OSP, any product you require to run RCU, that is Repository Creation Utility. So it has successfully created the required schemas. So just say close. So if we go back to our prerequisite screen, so we are done with RCU. So then now the next step is domain creation. So let's go back to our installation. So go back to one folder back. Now you are in middleware ADF Oracle Common. Just go inside Common. There's one more folder here, and go inside bin. There you find out one file. It is config.cmd. Yeah. Just right click and say run as administrator. So what is going to do? It is going to create the domain. The Weblogic domain, which will have your admin server and then manage servers. So it is going to create the domain inside the middleware location, that is middleware ADF, with a new folder, user projects, domains, and the domain name. So I wanted to name it as ADF domain 1. You can use any name. Just click on next, and here this is the screen. You have to select the templates for our ADF application deployments. So it should have the AM template. So it will by default select Oracle JRF and required coherence cluster extension. So you're required to select these three. So once you select EM console, it will select other dependents. So to run your ADF application, you're required to have this JRF template. So it has 3 templates. So now click on next. So just click on next. So this is you going to your Weblogic admin server password. So just give Weblogic 1. I'll tell you where you required this. Weblogic 1. Then click on next. Since this is for development environment, you have to select development, and if it's a production, you have to select the production environment. So then go on, just click next. So this is what RCU data which is asking for. So since we have already ran the RCU and which has created the required schemas, just give the details here. The database details first. So my schema name is PDB, or as it might be different on your instance. So I've installed database on localhost. Just give localhost, and my database port number is 1522, and the password which I set during the RCU run, it is welcome123. So this is what I told you to remember. You have to give the prefix. So it was ADF dev 01. So let me see. Let me click on RCU. So if the details are correct, it will show the successful message here. So failed to bind. So I might have given the wrong password, I believe. Yep. So I have given the correct password now. So what it is going to do, it is going to use these schemas for the domain creation. So just click on next. Then simply click on next. Now it will test whether your database connection details are proper. Just click on next. Oh, this is the important screen here. So I'm going to create admin server, and I want to create the node manager here itself, and I want to create the manage server also. So I've selected these 3. Just proceed with the next. So this is the admin server name and what IP it has to be. So I will create the local host or local address and give the port. So I'm going to give like 7051, whatever, you can even use 7001 also. So since I've installed some other products on my Windows machine, so I just want to give 7051 here. So just say click next, and this is the node manager screen. So it will ask you to create the username and password for your node manager. So just give anything which you like. You have to remember this. So just click on next. Now this is manage server screen. So I want to create one manage server here, and I want to name it as ADF server 1. I hope I have given the admin server port was 7051. So I will give okay 7053 first. I think it has removed the manage server name, so I'll create it now. ADF server 1. You can give any port. So I just want to follow the sequence. There it was 7051, so here I want to give 7053. Of course I've not use 7052. I just want to keep it blocked so that I can use 7052 for SSL port of admin server. So just click on next. I don't want to create the cluster. This cluster is generally required if you're going to install Weblogic for high available environment. Since it's a standalone machine, I just want to say next here. I don't want to create a cluster. So just create the machine here, which is for your node manager. Just say ADF machine 1, and this is your node manager port. So just keep as it is, or if you want I can give, since I'm using the series 7055 is my manager port. Sorry, it's my node manager port. Click on next. So if you're not aware of these concepts and what is node manager, what is ADF mission 1, and what is managed server and what is admin server, you have to just read about the Weblogic basic concepts. Then you will get to know about all these terminology. Just click on next. So I wanted to associate my managed server inside this machine. So just only drop ADF server 1 here, then click next. So we're almost done. Just say click create. So this is almost done, domain creation. So then we have to start the service and then apply ADF template. You have to do some post installation configurations for node manager. Just I will show you that. After this domain creation, before starting your admin server or managed server, you have to do some post installation configurations on node manager file. Hope it is done. Just click next. So it will give you the admin server details. So just keep it here. Once we have done with the post install configuration, it will come up. So what this location details means, it has created a domain called ADF_domain1 inside your middleware ADF user projects domain. So click on finish. Or if you want to start admin server from here, you can start it by selecting this. Even I can do this. Or if you're not selecting this, then otherwise you have to start it from the command prompt again. So I'm selecting here. Just say click finish, so it will automatically launch another command prompt, and which is for your starting your Weblogic administration server. Even meanwhile it is coming up. I wanted to change the node manager details. Just go to the middleware ADF and you see the folder user projects, domains, ADF domain 1, then go to node manager folder, then there's a file called node manager properties. Just edit this, and so this is what your node manager kind of a properties file for your, similar to your Java application. So it will use this properties file to run the node manager. So I have to modify 2 attributes. So I'm not going to use secure listener, so I just want to make it as false. So and then the stop script enable, just make it as true. So what we have done, we have just moved from true to false for the secure listener field, and false to true for the stop script enabled attribute. So I'm saving this. Let me close and let us see whether your administration server is up and running. So still it is not completed. Just wait for maybe 2 minutes, it will come up. So now it says running, so that means your admin server is up and running. So we have already opened the browser URL, which is 75705, and just click on refresh. It will open your login screen, Weblogic login screen. So give the details here. So this details, if you remember, we have given during the domain creation. So I have set it as Weblogic 1. So I'm just clicking on login. So this is your admin console screen. As if you go to servers inside, you can see your manage server, ADF server 1. This is what you created. And go and see whether to start your manage server, you need a node manager is up and running. Just go inside missions, environment, missions. This is the mission we have created during the domain creation. Just go inside and go to ADF mission 1, and this is what your node manager. Just see in the monitoring, so it is inactive, so node manager is not up and running. So that means if it is not up and running, you will not be able to start your manage server through admin console. So let me change some properties here. So since I've disabled this SSL property, so I'm going to make it as a plain, and I'm say save. Just go monitoring, it will not be up, it is inactive. So that means we have changed the properties, but we have not started the node manager. For this, you simply go here, your middleware location, which is the domain, and go inside bin. Here you see a file called start node manager. Just right click and say run as administrator. So this will start your node manager. So it's already started. So when you see this plain socket listener started on port 7055, so node manager up and running. So that means now if you go and see your admin console screen, this was inactive. Now if you say refresh, it should be reachable. So it has changed the reachable status. So that means since your node manager up and running, this status is changed to reachable. Let me go back to servers screen and say go to the control. Now you can start this manage server. Just click on here and say start. Just wait for manage server to be up. So with this, you have started the servers. Then you have to apply the ADF template, followed by your ADF sample application deployment. So let me open the EM console to apply your ADF template. For this, it's the same URL. Just change the context root. So EM, this is the place where you apply the ADF template for your ADF application deployments. So it is almost started. This is the same login details, Weblogic 1. whatever you use to start this admin console screen, even you have to use the same details for EM console. So this ADF server, this is a managed server, is up and running, and if you click on this ADF server 1 and go to deployments, you won't see anything here. So since you're going to deploy the ADF applications inside this managed server, it should have some libraries or some files to run your application properly. So once we are done with this apply ADF template, this step basically, once that is completed, then it will deploy some files here. I'll show you that. So to perform the same or kind of apply ADF template, you have to go to the EM console and just wait for some time, it will come up. Yeah, just click on your managed server, just click on this ADF server 1. See, now it will show you apply ADF template. So you can read this to know more about the ADF template. Just click on ADF template, apply ADF template. So it is completed. So by clicking on this, you click on active changes. So whatever you have done, it will activate. Or you have taken the lock of your screen, lock of your EM console, so you're activating the changes. And these are all Weblogic basic concepts. You better, if you're not aware of it, just read the Weblogic basic concepts. So just click on refresh. I hope by this time it would have been deployed the required libraries here. Just click refresh here. Have you seen the difference? So this has deployed some libraries over here, or some Java required files to run your ADF application. So now you're done with apply ADF template as well. So now it's the time to deploy one ADF application just for testing purpose. You can close the EM console now. Then just to go to your Weblogic, what is this, GeoDeveloper IDE, just try to create a new application here. So I just wanted to create some one ADF application. Just name it as a sample. Just I'll select all the default things. So now it has created the ADF application. Just I'll create the sample page over here. sample and with JSPX. Just click on OK.